welcome back to Popping the Popcorn. I'm your host, Katie, and today I have my good friend Kyle from Flex Movie and Pop Culture 13. How you doing, Kyle?
Doing good. Thanks for having me again, Katie. This is going to be a blast. Talk about one of our favorite movies of all time. This is going to be a lot of fun.
Thank you for coming on. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
How's everybody in the chat doing? Hi, Nate. This is a scary movie. It's not a scary movie. Well, if you were a kid, maybe. And then
Few
Patrick
parts in there,
saying
yeah.
rabbit season, duck season. Hi, Patrick.
I said duck season, and I say fire, and he doesn't realize the Bugs Bunny turned it on him.
Right.
Yeah, I remember that
So
episode.
how's your day going?
Doing good. It's been good. It was busy, but it's been good. How was yours?
It was pretty good. Didn't I worked all day. How about you?
Um, yeah, it was a lot of busy. I had to do a lot of things, errands and stuff, and got pretty tired. But I'm happy to be here. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Well, that's good. Um, so a lot of people don't know this about Who Framed. This stream is sponsored by that one company in the movie.
Acme.
It's a Warner Brothers movie as well. But a lot of people don't know this. Um, that this movie is is at Disneyland in California. They have this movie as a ride as well.
Yeah, and for sure. And then this is I think the only time Warner Brothers and Disney will actually collab together. I think.
Well, don't forget Walt Disney was at Warner Brothers for some time,
That's right. Yeah, he was.
and that's why Oswald the Lucky Rabbit is only in Disneyland, not Disney World, because technically Warner Brothers has the rights to it. So hi Echo. So there is a ride at Disneyland. I think it's near Toontown in Disneyland. I haven't been to Disneyland in California, but they do have a ride, and it's kind of like a 3D like ride, and you go through it, and Jessica Rabbit's in like the trunk, and they're trying to. She's like the like main character of this ride, and you see Roger Rabbit and everybody else, and it's really cool. Hi Hobbs.
Awesome. And Toontown. Where did we hear that before?
That's what they call it.
Yeah.
It's a really cool like little city if you ever get a chance to like Google it. That's where like all the characters live. So like Disney and like Mickey, Minnie, and all their friends live there.
Awesome. I would love to come in. I've never been to Disneyland or Disney World. I would love to come down there eventually.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Of course, come visit you too. So.
Yeah, burritos.
Suffering Succotash. They're monsters. That's another movie, but that's Space Jam.
So this movie is on Disney Plus now, so you can watch it on 5 different options if you guys wanted to watch the movie. You can watch it on YouTube for $3.99, Google Play for $3.99, Vudu for $3.99, and Amazon Prime for $3.99. Or if you have a Disney Plus account, you can watch it for free.
And I still got my 25th anniversary Blu-ray right here.
Nice. And so this movie stars Bob Hopkins, Charles Fletcher, or however you say his name, Christopher Lloyd, Kathleen Turner, Joanne Cassidy, Peter Wesley, Mel Blanc,
who voiced all the Warner Brothers characters, Bugs Bunny.
Stan Kay, Cherry Davis, Alan Turvin, Betsy Bentley, Joel Silver. So it's all pretty much all the characters that pretty much plays on Wonder Brothers. KT Inflet, how do you like your burritos? I like mine with beef and beans and cheese.
Same
and
here.
Lettuce,
Same
sour
here. What
cream,
she just said.
guacamole. How do
Yeah,
you like your burritos?
same thing as what you just mentioned. All
And
those.
so this movie is about. Let's get to the pilot. So this movie is about an animated cartoon characters or toons reside in a special area of Los Angeles known as Toontown, but regularly interact with humans to make films to do business. Private detective Eddie Van, however you say his name, I don't know how to say his last name, once worked closely
Eddie
with.
Valent. Yeah.
Huh?
It's Eddie Valent. Valent, however
Yeah.
he says. Yeah.
Closely with the Toons alongside his brother Teddy, but sank into depression and alcoholism after an unknown Toon murdered Teddy. In 1947, R.K. Moran, head of Moran Cartoon Studios, is concerned about the recent poor performance of one of his Toon stars, Roger Rabbit. Moore hires Eddie to investigate rumors about Robert about about Roger's gorgeous Toon wife Jessica after having an affair with Marvin, the owner of the like all those like explosions and stuff.
Yeah.
And so
Marvin
pretty
Acme.
much, huh?
Marvin Acme.
Yeah. And so pretty much that's how the movie is really starts and everything. So, do you have anything to say about the plot of the movie or anything?
The plot of the movie, was I think was a genius plot, and it has a great mystery to it too, because
Mm-hmm.
you don't even expect a certain character to be the actual. Because it's so geniusly who they hide who killed, his brother, and then of course who killed Acme. It's a genius reveal, I think,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a good,
Yeah,
really
it
good
is.
plot. And this movie is a great mix. I still think it's the best live action mix with animation, done very, very
I
well.
I do too.
And the only time you get to see Bugs Bunny and Mickey Mouse together, and that scene is just incredible. But
Right? Exactly.
and then you get to see
And
the both. Oh, sorry.
what was that?
I was gonna say you get to see the two Daffy Duck and Donald Duck go head to head on that stage with the piano. Daffy's getting
Mm-hmm.
on Donald's nerves. He's like, I want to lie to wisecrackers, but you are despicable. And then of course whatever Donald
Right.
says to him.
Hi, Nate.
I'm not gonna. And then Donald's had enough.
The
He gets it.
best. Yes, it is. Conniptions in Toontown. Yes. Um, and I think it's kind of cool how the characters are like real life and animation. I thought that was really cool.
Especially the relationship, the friendship between Eddie and Roger, because Eddie's reluctant to help him at first, and then he
Mm-hmm.
does help, and they become good friends. And then of course Roger Rabbit, ooh Eddie. I can't do that at the moment, but
I
you
can't
know how
either.
I used to, but you know how he does that, or how his cheeks move.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Who's your favorite character in this movie? Hey
Well,
DJ, welcome. If you guys have not followed DJ, go follow Movie
I
Time Minute. He's amazing over there, so go follow him.
I do
He
love
needs more
Roger Rabbit,
subs.
obviously, but I think I do love Bob Hoskins' character, Eddie Valent's character, because his story arc in the film is
Mm-hmm.
just incredible, and I just like his friendship with Roger. Those are my two favorite characters, Roger and Eddie. But I do think Christopher Lloyd is amazing as the villain. So
Oh yeah, he Christopher Lloyd always plays the good villains.
always,
Yeah, it's one of my favorite movies as well, DJ.
what was some
Um,
of your favorite characters?
I like
Katie?
Jessica Rabbit. I like
Of
Roger
course, Jessica.
Rabbit, but I also like the toon characters. Like Bugs Bunny and all of them. I love them
Oh
too.
yeah, Bugs Bunny, Mickey Mouse. They had all the Warner Brothers and Disney together. And of course, Daffy
Mhm.
and Donald. They even
Yeah.
had Betty
I
Boop in there for a quick second.
Yeah, they do. I think that's the only, like, time that you see Betty Boop really in something.
Yeah, because he's just at the bar and then sitting there, and then she comes out of nowhere.
Yep. Dopey? I don't the the baby with the
Yeah,
cigar?
you know what's genius?
Yeah.
It opens up as an animation, and then they're on a set. But sir,
Yeah. And the baby starts talking in, like, a male voice.
yeah, holding a cigar. I think he's
Mhm. Yeah.
Grant
Um,
that, Grant, Roger. We shot this many
so
times.
so what parts of the movie don't you like?
Don't tell like that's hard because I enjoyed the most of the movie. Um,
You're right, Nate. You're right. There is a baby with a cigar, and he has a male voice. You're right.
he got thrown down the stairs too. No. Uh, um, that's a quick question. What's one of yours? They'll come to me in a second.
um, so I don't like the part where like they're trying to find what happened to Jessica Rabbit, and that part just kind of fell flat for me. But I do love the movie. It's just that scene. I don't know if like the cast is like over it at that time or whatever, but you know what I'm saying?
For sure. And I think the one scene that when he thinks it is Jessica Rabbit in the elevator, it's not Jessica Rabbit. Those scenes
Yeah.
were blah.
Yeah, the part where the dude says he killed his brother. Yeah, that part was messed up.
You yeah,
If I
and
recall, it's scary. Yeah, it was scary. She
once here
isn't
those red
bad.
eyes.
Patrick saying she isn't bad. She's just drawn that way. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, for sure. It's just that scene just falls flat.
Hmm.
The other scene too, I think a couple of the bar scenes kind of fall flat for me a little bit.
Oh yeah. Hmm. If you think
But
about this movie is not really for kids, but
it
yet
ain't it really.
geared towards kids, kind of.
It is. There's a certain adult scenes in there that people don't realize it's really adults.
Hmm. What do you guys in
Especially
the chat think? What do you guys in the chat think? Do you guys in the chat what parts were your favorite or what parts fell flat for you?
I think one of my favorite parts is though in the bar scene when he doesn't want to drink. I don't want to drink. You do. You don't. You do. You don't.
Mhm.
I do. Listen, if I say I do, that means I do. He flipped it on him. So
Right?
just
Yeah,
to
I
get him to
know.
drink it. Trick
Mhm.
psychology going on there.
Yeah. I think this movie kind of is like somebody it's kind of like Alice in Wonderland. It's very trippy.
Yeah, Alice Wonderland, if you really push the boundaries.
Mhm. Yeah, it
And
did. This movie pushed the boundaries a little bit, but not as much.
not as much, no.
Go follow DJ. Just put his link in the description in the chat box. So go follow DJ. Do you think I like the car. The car was so funny.
Oh, his car?
Yeah.
Yeah, the car was pretty funny. I think what's funny when he shoots those bullets and they end up being tunes.
Mhm.
Which way did he go? I don't know. He went that way.
All right. Yeah. That was pretty funny. Um I also really like how the script was. It was like different and the script went like many different ways as well.
Yeah, it's not your typical Warner Brothers movie either. Especially
No.
from the bat animation, and Disney was involved. So it's amazing they allowed certain things to happen in there.
Mhm. Yeah, I agree with
I
you.
thought
And
there's
this movie did come out in 1988.
Jeez. Almost into the
I think.
80s.
Yeah, 1988. June 22nd, 1988. And this movie made the budget for this movie. You want to take a guess at what the budget was?
Um, I would imagine 10 million.
It was 50.6 million.
50.6. Yeah, I was after I said that it should have been higher.
And then
I would imagine
and
though.
then what?
I would imagine most of that money went to the animation stuff, especially
Yeah,
getting
I
all those
think so.
characters.
And then for the box office, this movie made 351.5 million.
Now I think that's a box office success for them, especially at the time.
Mm-hmm.
That's way more than their budget.
And also, Steven Spielberg is an executive producer, and Robert Zemeckis directed it.
Which is the Back to the Future director.
I think this might have been one of his first films, right? Or was Back to the Future his first film?
Back to the Future is way before this.
So Back to the Future was his first film?
I think so. At least one of his. This is Back
I know Back to the Future was 1985 to 1990.
I think it might have been his first film.
Let's look. Hold on. Tell you 1 second. So his first film was I Wanted to Hold Your Hand in 1978.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Did a
What
couple
was
of
that?
smaller films. He did a couple of smaller films, but I think what Back to the Future put him on the map.
So he did short films in 1972, The Lift, and 1973, A Field of Horror. He wrote it and directed it.
And you know what? They did an alternative version of Hollywood where tunes and people got coexisted. So it's very interesting.
And then his latest movie that he directed was the new Pinocchio movie with Tom Hanks.
What did you think of that one?
The Pinocchio movie?
Yeah.
I thought it was all right.
Yeah, it was decent. Yeah.
And then I didn't like Robert Zemeckis' version of Witches with Anne Hathaway.
Yeah, I didn't like that one either. To me, I still prefer the original Pinocchio.
Mm-hmm. Me too. But I do like. Do you like Robert Zemeckis as a director?
I think the movies he did I enjoyed. I think he did, because not all his movies were great, but I think he did amazing with Back to the Future and this. So he's a hit and miss. Just depends. That's it with any director. They're hit and miss. Just depends. They're not all going to be great, but what he did with these ones I love. But this later work I didn't enjoy much.
We're having a great night. How are you doing, Nate? I hope you're doing well.
Yeah, I'm doing good too.
I agree with you. Robert Zemeckis movies are a hit or miss with me as well. I like some of his movies, some of them I don't.
Yeah. They do add some horror elements in here, and even though as a kid it hits you differently when you see this, especially when Christopher Lloyd's character puts the tune into the dip and just kills him. And then, of course, when he reveals himself as the tune at the end with those red eyes, you remember me, Eddie, when I killed your brother?
Right.
I'm like, damn, the whole third act just changed tone.
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
All right. Yeah.
But as a kid, that hit me differently.
So, have you seen the movie recently? Did you watch it?
I watched it about 3 months ago.
Oh, okay.
I
watched it the other night so I could watch it for this.
Awesome. It still holds up to this day. I still think it's a lot of fun time. You know, mixed with the animation, live action. The cast is great. Um, not all the dialogue is good, but there's a lot of funny dialogue in there, and
Mm-hmm.
very well. It's just a fun movie, and it's almost like it's always it's like a mix of animation with the detective type story with some dark stuff, but it's still not
It
as dark
is.
where it could go. But
Mm-hmm.
um,
What
yeah,
do you think if they put it more as a horror movie? What do you think it would be like?
oh, they did a horror film. If it was a horror film, oh my goodness, that I think that there would be a lot of blood if they tried to kill the tunes, especially.
Mhm.
I think if they're going to do a horror film, if they when they throw the safe onto Acme's head, it would be a lot. I think there'd be a lot of blood.
Right?
So
Yeah. Or have Wild Coyote and Roadrunner chase each other, and finally one of them kills each other.
yeah, even though the coyote did catch him, but he left him. He decided to let him go
Mm-hmm.
at the end, the final episode. So,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
there is a dark moment there. You know, when they go to uh, Magoon's Hollywood
Mhm.
studio, and he's holding the gun,
Oh
then
yeah.
and then Eddie's trying to get information out of him, and someone shoots him, which ends up being Doom.
Hmm.
Dune.
No problem, Nate. Right?
So, and there was
Oh
blood
yeah.
there.
Mm-hmm.
So,
If you could change any scene in the movie, what would you change?
I change. Um,
Hey, Don.
hey, Nida.
Welcome.
Hey, Don. I'll have to come back to you on that. What would you change?
I think I would change. I think I would change a couple of the scenes. I think I would change like to where Jessica Rabbit doesn't get like kidnapped or whatever. I think I would change that to where Roger Rabbit does, and kind of have Jessica Simpson like framed instead of Roger Rabbit.
Would have Jessica Rabbit framed instead?
Mm-hmm. I think that would be kind of cool.
Yeah, and because you never really see Jessica Rabbit in action as much in this film, just
No,
until
you
the
don't.
end. So I would love to see her side of it if Roger gets kidnapped. Um, I would also um,
You would what?
I would also change some of the dialogue a little bit. There's a few dialogue in there that doesn't make sense.
Right? Well,
Yeah.
you would change some of the dialogue.
Yeah.
What do you guys in the chat think should be changed in a movie if you guys seen it? If you have not seen it, I highly recommend you check it out.
You know what makes me laugh though is when the Weasels come over. I think the Weasels. This is where, because Roger,
Mhm.
you turned me in. Thanks for nothing. Goes into the closet instead of the door,
Right? Yeah.
and he's like, "You're under arrest. I don't have no keys with this cuffs." And the Weasels are
Hmm.
coming over. Stop that laughing. You know what happens when you can't stop laughing?
Right.
One of these days you'll die laughing.
Hmm.
But then he
I
throws
agree with
soap
you.
into his lap mouth. It's funny.
Yeah, it is. Do you think if what other kind of animal do you think Roger could have been if it wasn't a rabbit? What other kind of animal?
If they didn't make him to a rabbit. Um, I don't know. I think the rabbit fits him perfectly. I don't think it would have worked if he was anybody else. I think.
Kind of like what they did with the Kingdom Hearts games.
Oh,
Um,
yeah. Um,
I think it would be kind of cool if Roger Rabbit was like a mouse like Mickey, or
oh,
I think he would be kind of cool as like a bear, maybe.
yeah, that would work. a bear or a mouse. Anything else, I don't think it would work.
Right. Do you like the costumes in the movie?
I think the costumes fit perfectly in the movie, the wardrobe and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I
And
think
I like
because
how the tones are in the movie too. I like when Christopher Lloyd's like away from them. It's kind of like a cat and mouse game. It gets darker, it gets lighter, it gets darker, it gets lighter.
yeah, and I love the setting of the movie too. I think it fits that period perfectly, even though it's the just alternative version of what it could have been.
Mm-hmm.
But it also show it and also no one really sees this. It also shows the dark side of Hollywood in that certain scenes too.
Right. Mm-hmm. And it also, don't forget, the movie goes behind the scenes to Warner Brothers lot too.
It does, yeah. Because I love it how the movies because he goes from the office, you see Dumbo, you see all those instruments flying around. He goes from studio to studio. You see some of the behind the scenes stuff going on.
Mm-hmm. I love the soundtrack to this movie. Do you like the soundtrack?
I think the soundtrack is phenomenal and very incredible.
The composer that did the soundtrack for this movie, Robert Zemeckis, has him in a lot of his movies.
Which if you're hitting a no hitter, it works perfectly. I think so. You might keep saying that if you like the same guy, keep using him.
Right. So, what makes a movie for you? Is it the soundtrack, the characters, the directing? What makes a movie for you?
I think all of it makes the whole movie for me. The characters, um, every scene is just keeps you engaged because you're wondering what's going on. Um, I think I think the setting, the tone, the atmosphere, and how it's written, the soundtrack's phenomenal. Um, the relationships between each characters,
Mm-hmm.
and from beginning to end, there's as much there's a few things we would change. I still think it's just a lot of fun, and it just keeps you on the edge of your seat guessing what's going on here. It's a great
Right.
mystery film at the same time.
I guess today's technically, since it's Disney Movie Monday. I guess technically, because this is a Disney movie, I don't have to
Wow.
put a video out today.
Well, it went fit perfectly then for us then. Because it
You
is
know what
technically a
I'm
Disney
saying?
movie, even though it's just a Wonder Bros. As well. It's still Disney
Yep.
involved.
Well, it's on Disney Plus, so,
Yeah.
and
So
it's also, I think it might be on Max too.
even though Mickey Mouse and Bugs Bunny is just a quick cameo, it's so funny because you remember he's flying in the air, that classic animation. So they just keep
Hmm.
rolling. Looks like he's really falling, but he's not really.
And I think Oswald the Lucky Rabbit also is in there too at some point.
He is. He's sneaking in there. You have to really pay attention. He's in there.
Mm-hmm.
But
He
it's
is.
funny. He's like, "Come on, I want a spare." I don't think you want it. I do. I do.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Doc. Here's the spare, and it's a spare
Right.
tire. You
Yeah,
know,
so
sticker.
a lot of people don't know that actually Disney's first character was Oswald the Lucky Rabbit.
It was, yeah.
And then he got into a fight with the Warner Brother. So then he came up with Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, because he was having an awful time with Oswald and the rabbit, and they wasn't having success. So when he changed to Mickey Mouse, that's when his fortunes changed, and the rest is
Hmm.
history. And then he went to made Snow White,
I
and
think he was even sued by Warner Brothers at one point.
he was. And did you ever hear the story how he got the rights to Mary Poppins? Great story, because
Yeah, it is. Well, go watch Saving Mr. Banks.
which is played
That
by
will tell you the story of how Walt Disney actually got Mary Poppins.
and Tom Hanks plays him.
Mm-hmm. Tom Hanks plays Walt Disney. Um,
What do you think of the
so
third act, Katie?
mm-hmm.
What do you think of the final
I
act?
wish they would have put in a cameo of Walt Disney in there. That would have been cool.
Yeah, just at least somewhere in there, especially in the studio scenes, just somewhere in there,
Mm-hmm. But we
or
didn't
at
get
the
that
end.
though.
No, unfortunately not, or at
It would
least
have
at the
also
end.
been cool if like they used the sound stage in California. It would have also been cool like to see some of the actors like as they were like driving by like the sound stage, the back lot. That would be kind of cool too.
It would be too, yeah,
Hmm. So
but
what do you guys in
unfortunately,
the chat think of this movie, or Should they change anything about this movie? Let us know.
You can definitely
Um,
tell this also feels like you definitely tell Spielberg is part of this film because it
what
definitely
was
has
that?
some. You can definitely feel that Spielberg, as executive producer, is part of the film. You can definitely tell that in certain parts Spielberg did help out a little bit.
He is an executive producer of the movie. You can
Yeah,
tell that it's a Steven Spielberg touch a little bit.
touch, yeah, in certain parts, yeah. I'm like, yeah, there's Spielberg in here, even though
Yeah. Mhm. Yep. Too bad he didn't have a cameo in it.
unfortunately not. I
Most
don't think
most
he.
most most movies that he produces, he has cameos.
What was his first cameo?
Huh?
What was his first cameo? Do you remember?
He's in a couple of Star Wars. He also made a cameo, and George Lucas made a cameo in E.T.
That's right. Yes.
What if Hobbs is asking what if Roger Rabbit was
You
an
see him
armadillo?
rolling right when he's running.
He'd be rolling into people.
Yeah, like soccer ball.
He's like I don't like you, so he'll be rolling into people.
Yeah, get out of my way.
Right? I echo. Pray for Echo, everybody.
Um,
Praying for you, Echo. Love you. Sorry, I'm yawning. It's been a long day. Um,
all good.
so so how do you rate this movie?
Um, I give it 10 out of 10 because
Don saying, "I love me some Roger Rabbit. It's funny, but it's cool. Throwback to the 1900s and old detective movies. Yes, it does.
and and I think just despite Mel Blanc's did a lot, I think he was still top notch at his game at this point, voicing the
Yeah,
characters in this movie.
yeah, I agree with you. And then I also liked like in the 90s he was still around to do Tiny Toons and Looney Tunes and all that too.
Unfortunately, he didn't get to do Space Jam. Unfortunately,
Oh, I know that would have been cool.
yeah, that would have been at
But that's
least.
also a really good movie that's kind of like this one too.
It is. I mean,
The
we'll have to
first
do
one,
that.
not
Yeah,
the
the
Space
first
Jam
one.
Legacy.
Yeah, the first one. LeBron's got
Not the
nothing on Michael Jordan. So, and you know what's so
yeah.
cool? I know we'll get. Well, I know we're going off track here, but I'll just want to say a quick second. You know what's cool though? Despite it's still a Space Jam, they're still technically doing like a mini Jordan biopic going on there at the same time.
Oh yeah.
Stay
Let
tuned.
us know in the comment section. Do you guys like Space Jam? Let us know.
And maybe we'll have to do a sequel with Space Jam. Just talk about the first one, reviews it
Hmm.
down the road.
Well, we could do a
The
compare
watch
and
party.
contrast with both.
We could do that. That'd be cool.
Um,
What do you think?
I
Wait, here's my
huh?
question for you, Katie. What do you think defines this film?
The what?
What do you what thing of this movie that defines this film?
Oh, what defines this film? It's what I think it is trying to find something that is lost and trying to prove that you're innocent, even though that you're being framed for something to prove that you're innocent. And um and you have to go through all these like hoops, and it's just a good fun detective movie.
And it shows too that you shouldn't hate on something just because something happened to your brother. And it also showed to Eddie that not all tunes are bad. It was just one guy being an angry villain, and he set the tunes as his friends at the end, which is so cool. It's such a happy ending, but sad. It's just sad for 3 parts, but it's a happy ending because he steps all tunes were good
Hmm.
tunes because it wasn't really
Yeah,
a tune that killed his brother. It was just a villain. So he started hating all
yeah, I
tunes.
agree with you. Um, um, what else do you like about the movie?
I like that, um, even I like the fact, that it really, um, it really showed how it shows this movie also showed that studios can work together. I think that's what I like about
Mhm.
it. Unfortunately, I don't think it would happen now, but even though I would
Right.
love to see it happen, but um, I think this film, it hits on so many different themes and still keeps it, family friendly, and it shows you that you don't have to be rated R to really go there and still show that you can still have a little dark, little but still be light. That's what
Mhm.
makes it great. So,
I agree with you. Um,
and the
yes.
history of Hollywood
The
is a nice touch. Yeah,
yes, there's a nice touch to Hollywood history in this movie as well.
I love the fact that it shows how the golden age at Hollywood was made because
Mhm.
because I love that area of.
So do you guys hi Ghostface and Fanatic, how are you doing? So you guys want to hear some fun facts about this movie?
All
So
right.
this movie was the most expensive movie ever made at the time of release of June 22nd, 1988. Who Framed Robert Rabbit voiced the highest budget of any other film to date, a whopping $7 million, nearly 150 million in today's dollars. It topped the previous record holder of Rambo 3.
And I would imagine now there's certain there Pirates Caribbean definitely broke that record in budget for
Mm-hmm.
Disney when it
And
does.
which had come out less than a month earlier by about 12 million. Roger Rabbit held its design until its discography until July 1991, ultimately falling to Terminator 2 Judgment Day, which cost 100 million.
Terminator 2 Judgment Day. I like the first two
Mhm.
Terminators.
Me too. Um, the film also broke the longest record, the record for longest end credits,
Who ha-
which recognized a cast of crew over 800.
Yeah, that was a lot of credits. I was going to say that. Yeah, there's a lot of credits at the end.
Hmm. Bob
What
Haskins was not the first pick for Eddie Vermont, or however you say his name.
Valiant? Yeah.
Hmm. Director Robert Zemeckis and producer Steven Spielberg communicated which of big named actors and casting of humans, the poltergeist detective Eddie, among them considered, was Harrison Ford, Chevy Chase, Bill Murray. Can you imagine those movies with them in it?
I can imagine a couple of them. I can see it, but even though that would have been interesting, I still think Bob Hoskins did a perfect, awesome job as
Yes,
Eddie.
there was a lot of animators in this movie.
And
And then um, also Christopher Lloyd wasn't their first choice either. Um, they considered Tim Curry, John
well, that would have been
Cleese,
cool.
Christopher Lee, Rudy McDowell, Eddie Dozen, and Sting for this role.
I could definitely see Tim Curry. That would have been
Hmm.
quite something to see.
Yeah. Lloyd was also more terrifying thanks to one simple trick. Prompt by suggested of Robert Zemeckis, Lloyd did not blink. Oh wow.
He did not blink at all in that film.
Mm-mm. Charles Finster actually dressed up like Roger Rabbit when performing his lines. That's interesting.
You know what's another great scene though, that you know how Roger Rabbit is with his humor. When Eddie's trying to cut off the cuffs and he just slips out of
Hmm.
there. He's like, "You
Yeah.
mean you're telling me you could have slipped out of that cuffs all not any time?"
Hmm. And then the seventh fun fact is the dip is real. Who Framed Robert Rabbit divulged the old maximum about cartoon characters never dying by introducing the one thing that proves fatal to the lot, a liquor consumption known as dip. There is actually a bit of science behind the plot. device. The ingredient of the dip is revealed to be some kind of liquid or something. It's
Yeah,
interesting.
that's why they had Christopher Lloyd do actually wear gloves
Mhm.
when he did it.
The film sent Bart Simpson to stardom because Bart was in this movie as well.
Yep, he was just sneakily in there.
Earlier drafts of the script were darker. So can you imagine they might have even put it as a horror movie?
I can I can definitely see it because they really wanted Gremlins to be a horror film, and and it was much darker than we've got. So I can only imagine
Mhm.
how dark this film would have been. I can see it happening.
Roger and Eddie had famous stand-ins for test shoots. Um, Roger was mortified after Big Stars. Jessica was inspired by some of a listener too. That's interesting. And
and,
then there
and
was so many cameos in this movie as well.
that is, and I do consider this movie groundbreaking. I think
Mm-hmm.
was
I
groundbreaking for what
agree.
it did.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Nate.
Yeah, sorry to hear that, Nate.
Well, I hope you're doing okay.
Yeah, I hope things get
Um,
better.
yes. So, so do you have any closing remarks on the movie, or do you guys in the chat have anything
What about you,
that
Katie?
you want to say?
Anything last you want to say?
I think it's a
What?
good movie. I give this movie a 10 out of 10 because I really enjoy it. It's my childhood. I've watched it since like the 90s.
Oh yeah, I've read the heck
I
out of the
watch it every
VHS
year.
sometimes. I've read the heck out of my parents' VHS, so but now I have it on Blu-ray.
Right? Is it the same?
It is the same. It's just that with Blu-ray, it makes it even more, you know, HD. So
Mm-hmm.
very
So it
cool.
looks a lot better.
Looks a lot better, but it's still awesome. Doesn't change anything. It's just more
Right?
clear.
Let us know down in the comment section below if you've seen this movie or if you have not seen this movie. And we're always there to chat if you ever want to chat about movies or anything like that.
And I got a question. What do you think of the final act, Katie, when they finally fights Dune and everyone?
Oh, I think it's a good fight scene and everything. And um and I just think it's a really cool last act. How about you?
It's a fun, cool. It's a fun one. It's an awesome one. It's when he tries to fight Dune, he pulls out that sword and it ends up being the singing sword. He's like, and it starts
Mhm.
singing. He's like, wrong
Yeah,
thing. But in the one that we just start laughing, you can see the ghost, and he's just trying to grab, like, come on, no, get back in here.
right.
They all die laughing.
I think it would have been cool though if they would have put the
Aw,
ghost from the haunted mansion in there too.
that would have been cool. And
Um, so do you have
no,
anything going? What was that?
I was just gonna say, you remember that one music? No, no, that's not how you say it. No, well, this does.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you have anything going on your channel?
Um. Um. Some. I know it originally was supposed to be the October 2nd, but we had to change the date. But I will be interviewing Roger Christian, the Academy Award winner, set decorator for Star Wars: New Hope, art director for Alien. Um, of course, he did the second unit for Phantom Menace and Return of the Jedi, so that's very cool. I am still working on getting interviews with Tommy Lee Wallace and Tom Holland. Still working out the stuff. So with Tom Holland, the OG director for Child's Play and Fright Night.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, and then of course Tom Lee Wallace, the creator of the Mars Mask. It would be great to talk to him, but because I know he's busy because with Age 45 coming this weekend, the big convention for the Halloween fans.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully that works out because we got the email back that saying that hope to get them on. So this will be still fun.
Do you have
So-
anything going on tomorrow? Or you just hanging low?
Tomorrow I do have some video coming. So
Okay, nice.
what about you?
And then you guys know today was Disney Monday, so I will be doing probably some kind of review this week, or who knows, you might see Kyle and I pop back on. Who knows? Later on in the week,
Definitely.
or
will.
you
I'd love
might
to
see
come back on.
Dawn. You never know who you're gonna find on this channel.
Anybody can pop on this channel. But that's not I don't know how it sounded. It just said pop because I know you're popping a pop.
Yeah.
But it just sounded that
Yeah,
way.
Nate, we appreciate you praying for you. And I will be having No One the Hulu original No One Can Save You. I will have that up. It's about an alien abduction, which is kind of cool, or alien like movie. It's really cool. It reminds me of The Quiet Place, so that review will be up. And then I will have a Bayview Entertainment review up this week. I have to go watch the video for that. It's called Dark Sisters, so that will be up. And then just look for the rest of the week. I'll be on the midnight hour on Thursday night at Hobbs channel at 10:15. And don't forget, Sunday, October 1st, Carrie and I are doing our 1K double feature. I'll send you the link.
Nice.
And we will be watching at 8 p.m. Eastern. We'll be watching The Breakfast Club and Valley Girls that day. So if you guys want to come see that, it's a double party because we both hit 1K. And don't forget to hit that thumbs up, and don't forget to comment on the video and subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to both of our channels. I have
Definitely, for
Kyle's
sure.
channel linked in the description, so you guys can go find him. Me too.
Yeah, and this weekend too. I think yeah. By the weekend too, I'm bringing on Mika back on.
Oh, nice.
We'll be discussing our top favorite horror films from each year, the 90s. So that'll be a lot of fun.
Oh, nice. That will be fun.
Yeah.
So guys, go check out Kyle. He's amazing. He does really good interviews. He has all kinds of movie rankings. He has all kinds of movie reviews. So go check out Fletch Movies and Pop Culture 13. And don't forget to have a great week. And I love you all. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone. Have a good night.